guys, how are you guys doing? It has been a long time, I feel like, since I've seen you guys. We're already into May. It is May the 4th be with you. I have my Yoda shirt on, my baby Yoda shirt on. But it's been like almost 2 months because the last time I saw you guys was on Friday the 13th of March. Um, Anyway, we're still kind of moving ahead with new material. Still kind of learning about some things. I'm trying to pick and choose things that are interesting, things that are important, and try not to bore you guys too much with things. But I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're keeping busy. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of all this distance learning things, all these distance learning things, because they're all on different platforms. They're all kind of all over the place. So I hope you guys are checking on occasion to see what's out, what's new, what your teachers are doing. And you're taking some time to learn something new with your brain, right? Because otherwise it's just going to be mush when you guys return in August. We're hoping you guys return in August. Anyway, I know that besides my normal teaching things, I'm trying to learn new things. I'm trying to do new things. I'm working on things around the house, things like that to keep my brain fresh and to make sure I'm not forgetting things. Still working out, still doing like dancing stuff to try to get some of my energy out so I can sleep well at night and things like that. So I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves as well, not just mentally with learning and things, but also physically, so that you're strong and so that you just don't become mush over the summer. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about today was the Renaissance and the time period that we're studying on a whole. Okay, so the Renaissance really starts in Italy. So if you paid attention to the Medici family, who we talked about, who had the murder mystery and things like that, you know that they were bankers, they had a lot of money, and the money that they had financed or paid for the artists who were able to do their artwork, right? So then they, get a whole bunch of artists to do artwork. They make their cities as pretty as possible. They make their buildings as pretty as possible. They pay for a lot of things. And from there in Italy, it starts in like Florence and Venice and a lot of those trading cities, and it goes out to other places. So then it gets to England eventually, and it gets to Germany, and it gets to a whole bunch of other countries, so that the Renaissance is not just focused in Italy. Okay, so I'm going to put up a slideshow presentation. It talks about other Renaissance people in other places, particularly Shakespeare. Shakespeare's probably the most well-known Renaissance writer. We take a lot of the things that our language actually has a lot of things that Shakespeare actually made up. He made up words, he made up phrases that we use today for his own writing. And you study Shakespeare, but a lot of his stories are stories that are have like a universal theme, like love and like anger and revenge. And his stories are actually really incredible if you listen to them, or actually if you watch them performed. Okay, they're better watched performed than they are just listening or reading. That comes from somebody who used to teach language arts. So I have just a little bit about him today that you guys are going to take a look at. The other thing I wanted to point out, and I promise this video is not that long, is that during the Renaissance, this is a huge time of change. There's multiple things going on within like a 200-year time span. You have the Reformation with Martin Luther, where you have that change in the church. You have the Renaissance, where you have this change in art and also change in culture and music and all sorts of other things. Then you also have an exploration that starts going on where people are leaving Europe to go explore other areas and to settle there to get resources, gold, power, money. Okay, so that's where you have people like Christopher Columbus, who goes from Spain all the way over to the New World. Okay, or the islands below Hispaniola kind of area, so Cuba area ish. Okay, so if you know south of Florida. Okay, so anyway, all of these things that we're talking about all are in a very similar time period, very close together. So you'll hear things kind of come back around. Like the Reformation was going on during the time of the Renaissance, and exploration was going on during the time of the Reformation and the Renaissance. So you have all these things that are kind of together, but there are distinctly different movements going on at the same time, if that makes sense. So I'll try to draw it out so you guys can see kind of a timeline of events, so you can see who was actually alive during the same time periods and what was actually going on during the same time periods, so you can understand that this was not like, oh, the Reformation happened and then years later the Renaissance happened and oh no, later on you have exploration. No, they were all kind of going on during the same time period, same kind of about 200 years of time span. Anyway, so that's the important thing I wanted to get out to you guys today. Anyway, I hope you all are healthy. I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you guys are listening to Riverside County requirements and things like that, to keep your family safe as well. And I miss you guys dearly. And enjoy this nice warm week that's coming up. All right, bye guys.